Salve, salve galerinha! Começamos mais o último, derradeiro grupo do MSI. Lembrando que depois daqui nós vamos para o Rumble Stage. E antes da gente começar a falar desse draft, antes da gente começar a falar de jogo, eu quero que você se inscreva no canal, compartilhe esse vídeo, compartilhe essa playlist, melhor ainda, pra galera que gosta de LoL, para chegarmos a esses 400 antes do final do MSI, hein? Agora vamos focar um pouco nesse draft. Por enquanto, o que a gente está vendo? A Damwon, como ela está headside, ela está banindo a Morgana, que é um pick prioritário, Tino Trash, que é outro pick prioritário, que habilita picks como a Zaya e o Aphelios. Pelo outro lado, eles tiram o Nar do Khan. Opa! Mano, vocês vão deixar o Rumble do Canyon passar? Oh fuck. Tá bom. O outro lado, a cena dos Vayne já ficou muito conhecida. Ele carregava jogos praticamente solo. Mano, Lee Sin por Rumble é meio meme essa troca, hein? É bem meme essa troca na realidade. Tá bom que ele dá pra jogar de Uga, sim. Ele pode não perder. O stun do Udyr incomoda muito o Rumble. Muito mesmo.
It was very powerful back when Perkz in particular was an AD carry, and I think that it can still be considered a very strong setup as well. The extra utility it has against the Tristana very valuable. And now, some of these strong supports that answer into the Nautilus are going to be taken off the board. So the Leona removed. Damwon doing a classic Damwon thing. They're getting themselves a strong bot side of the map, guaranteeing themselves a powerful 2v2 that they
a bot lane muito forte para Damwon, a bot lane a C9 ainda pode flexionar essa Tristana, mas eu acho difícil. Tira a Leona, que é o counter forte. Tiraram o Nock, que é um counter forte do Lee Sin também.
But in the same vein, C9 with such high priority on the Lee Sin, on the Udyr, they're saying we want a strong top side.
Entre aspas, counter, né? Ele é um campeão que lida bem com o Lee Sin, vamos dizer assim.
Of attacking Khan. That is how they were able to get a lot of early game leads. Let's see if C9 can do it as we move further.
Será que eles vão? Ah, Kalista. Tá, eles não compraram a Tristana bot, hein?
Lee Sin so strong in the lane. You can see C9 banning away the Nocturne as well from that top lane, taking away something that Khan might be comfortable on.
I think that it's also a good answer into the Lee. Right now, it looks like that a lot of top lane bans suggest to me that the Lee is going top, but I wanted to also add the fact that Perkz, you know he likes to flex. There's always the possibility of the lead going into the mid. We've seen it in the mid lane a bunch of times. Now flexibility is option, so credit to Cloud9. Their draft is very flexible right now. They can mix and match depending on what Damwon chooses.
Esse set indica um Alistar na bot lane, tá? Pra mim esse band set indica um Alistar ou uma Rell.
What is going on in the mid lane, and then we're going to give Showmaker the counter pick.
And there is the Jace locked in for Khan in the top lane. Only played it once during the regular season, was unkilled and undefeated on it. And of course, we've all heard the stories of Korean Jaces. So expect to see him pop off on that in the top lane. And now we'll see where C9 decide to round out this draft. Options are
eu imaginei que seria Alistar mesmo.
And a support, or a support and a mid laner here, with that Tristana flexing down into the bottom lane. Alistair immediately picked for Vulcan.
The thing that they need though is more ability power. So regardless of what they pick, whether it goes bot lane or
meu Deus, o que a gente vai pegar aqui agora? O que a gente vai pegar? O que eles vão pegar aqui agora? Ai, não gostei do Victor. Não gostei da opção do Victor.
To be able to get early priority in the lane, but we know he has a wealth of champions at his disposal. If he wants a little bit more aggression, Twisted Fate could be something that he could go for. He does have a world skin on it after all, but instead it looks like that he is hovering the Sylas, and he is going to lock that one in. Sylas into things like the Alistair, always very valuable.
Nossa.
Ultimate, the Lee Sin kick can also be
Eu acho que essas últimas duas decisões
probably not the strongest setup, but still, I'm sure the Showmaker is going to find a lot of value on it. And I think the great thing about the Silas is it wants to dive into the backline. So you have the Nautilus that's going to be setting up the crowd control. When the Kai'Sa goes in, the Silas is going to be very quick to follow. Their aim is going to be trying to shut down Sven, whereas C9 have a very traditional standard front-to-back team fight comp. They have a strong top side.
Cara, eu achei que tanto a última decisão da C9 quanto a última da Damwon definiram o jogo. A C9 ela quer lutar luta meio espalhada, mas ao mesmo tempo o Victor não curte esse tipo de luta, então digamos assim, tá contraditório, sabe?
A lot of voices are saying so far, Blabber has not had the tournament we expected from him. In North America, he was the MVP. He was the best player in the entire league, and he has yet to really show up here at MSI.
Vamos ver o que vai rolar. Em termos de jungle, a gente sabe que o Rumble é parelho em velocidade com o Dir. E que, diferentemente da maior parte dos outros junglers, o Dir consegue, digamos assim, correr do Rumble. Essa bot lane vai depender de como ela for jogada, mas eu acho que principalmente no early game. Principalmente no early game, ela favorece a Damwon. A única coisa que pode mudar isso é se a C9 não der lixo, por exemplo, e começar fazendo um nível mais cedo, pegando o nível 2 ou nível 3 mais cedo. Aí poderia mudar bastante coisa, mas caso contrário... No mid é uma lane relativamente safe, tá? Mas o problema não é a lane phase. O problema é principalmente a ult do Alistar. E a cura infinita que esse campeão tem, né? Que é simplesmente quebrada. É bom que o time da Cloud9 não queira lutar em grupo. Por quê? É bom o lado da C9 querer lutar espalhado exatamente porque tem um Rumble. E se você juntar contra um Rumble, você só apanha.
Both bot laners. I like the aggression that we're seeing from Damwon's duo, largely because they're actually going to force the 2 versus 2 off the lane. They will actually get the level 2 first, so that early priority is actually going to be denied. Unfortunately, I think the wall there got in the way, so that
foi o que eu falei, quem pegasse nível 2 primeiro.
A lot of this comes down to that very early trading that was coming out from Ghost and Beryl, that immediately, once they got into the lane, they just got into the face of Sven and Vulcan, and they were actually able to get that slight CS advantage. So now Damwon have a pushing top, and they have a pushing bot.
E quanto ao top, vamos dizer assim,
But the biggest difference, another hook lands.
Yeah, Sven should be able to jump away from this one, but only takes a huge amount of damage there. Beryl takes a tower shot as well, and Vulcan and Sven are forced underneath the turret themselves. Ghost's going to try and get a ward in here, knows that Blabber's going to be on the bottom side of the map after he started up towards that top lane. And I do wonder, when we talk about Prio, a lot of it is in the early game about getting scuttle crabs for your junglers, right? And the issue for Damwon here is, although you have the push in the 2v2 in the bottom lane, Showmaker is getting pushed out of lane mid. He's going to have to TP back to catch that wave. Your jungler is on the top side of the map, so is nowhere near contesting this. And it looks like Blabber is just going to be able to secure bot side scuttle himself. and Canyon will trade it on the top side for a scuttle of his own.
So I think one of the big things for Damwon's bot lane in particular, though, is because Perks has that prio in mid. I'm not saying that it's likely, but there's always the possibility.
Tá, vamos lá, vamos lá.
O
que acontece aqui? Com a top lane, o Jace vai encher muito o saco do Lee Sin, mas muito dificilmente esse Jace vai matar o Lee Sin. Pelo contrário, a pressão de kill ainda é mais favorável ao Lee Sin do que ao Jace. E sempre o First Blood no mid, né? Na lane do Sylas. Sempre First Blood mid na lane do Sylas, é impressionante.
Fudge going in, Khan could just switch towards his range form here to look for the damage, but instead Fudge will be able to farm up underneath the tower. Still has a flash available to him, and Blabber is on this side of the map. Looks like he's going to try and make the long way round to see if he can catch out Khan, but it might just be a Razorbeak steal instead.
So, Perks didn't lose a huge amount in terms of farm because he does still have his TP. Blabber now making his way up top lane. Will not get spotted out, but now he will get...
Oh, he went the other way.
Opa, nice.
Really smart pathing there from Blabber. Flash still available for Khan. He's going to look for a flash knockback. Blabber flashes forward. Fudge going in with a kick as well.
Boa, não! Isso! Nice, bem jogado. Gostei por dois motivos. Um dos motivos é jogaram pelo topside, o outro é acertar a jogada.
Vulcan's going to have the stun up here. Canyon doesn't have flash, remember, used it on Perks. There's the gravity well to get the stun onto Canyon. Hook goes wide. Beryl stepping forward a little bit. Here comes Blabber as well. The rest of C9 trying to back up the defensive forces here in the jungle. Beryl forced away. Ends up just being a trade of HP.
Now this is a classic Canyon move. If the enemy Raptors are alive, he's going to go to them. It doesn't matter whether he has priority or not, because what he's doing is he's just creating pressure. Fortunately for him, Beryl was on the roam already and was able to offer support, as we see a bit of trading in the mid lane. Good fancy feet there from Perks, but to go back to this Canyon point, he is just so aggressive when it comes to stealing away enemy ganks, and he looks for all of these opportunities to deny as much from the enemy jungler as possible. And
cara, jogar mid lane contra um Sylas é muito cansativo. Porque ele tá sempre procurando uma janela de jogada.
The best jungler and potentially even the best player in the world. Canyon knows how to carry games, and with that first blood in his back pocket, now hitting the level 6, you know that he's going to be looking for a little bit more on the map.
You can see it just there. The entirety of Damwon's bottom side went for that Scuttle Crab. They were like, we're all going to be here. If anyone tries to contest us on this Scuttle Crab, we are helping Canyon out. Canyon gets it, hits level 6, as you say. But I will say, on the other side of the coin, Blabber has had a very good start to this game. He's kept up in CS with Canyon. He has got the assist in the top lane with some very intelligent pathing to get the gank onto Khan. And this is where Blabber was successful and C9 was successful in the LCS. When he is getting early kills and assists, when he's getting gold leads on his opponents, when he's getting into these skirmishes and outplaying his opposition. We haven't seen it so much at MSI so far. The hope is that we can see it today.
Cara, vai ser troca-troca por enquanto. Até algum dos times decidir que quer investir com tudo nesse dragão.
Anywhere that he tries to go, he's going to get spotted out, he's going to get denied, and the pings immediately come out from Damwon, and they showcase that respect. So while Blabber was able to find that one kill topside, we'll see if he can find any more. Putting Khan behind, as we mentioned, is an effective strategy that has allowed DFM to get early game leads, but I think considering C9 knows they scale quite well, know that they have a very solid front-to-back comp, being at this amount of deficit this early in the game against a team like Damwon, I don't think they're too concerned about just yet.
And you're pretty happy being only 700 gold behind at around the 8-minute marks. Damwon looking to bring Beryl up to the top lane. This is something they did at Worlds last year. Ring the Beryl, I believe is what you used to call it, Vedius. The wave is not in a good spot here for Khan. So instead of taking Canyon's time out of his farm, out of his jungle, you bring Beryl up and you say, okay, help me reset the wave or look for a kill.
And Fudge showcasing respect. He's like, the only reason why Khan would push this out is if someone was here. So really good awareness from Fudge. He's saying, I've got to drop a ward. I think I'm about to get dived. He knows that his jungler's on the bot side of the map as well. And so he's going to pay that respect and he's not going to lose his life. So really good
Boa
awareness from
defesa do
Meanwhile,
Fudge.
C9 know that if that's happening,
Eu acho que o
they can
time
push
mudou
the bot side.
bastante
That is the
dos outros
standard
dias,
cross
hein?
as the Rift Child is being dropped, C9 going to look for that Drake and they're going to look to get themselves a couple plates onto the C9.
Dos últimos dois, caralho, Perks, porra.
Gravity welcomes down the Chaos Storm ticking away as well. Bevel is near his mid lane. A counter Chaos Storm from Showmaker will force Perks away, and the Showmaker, of course, has the Kingslayer to heal up in this lane if he so needs. Importantly, that little trade brought
Achei o Perks bem, achei que o Perks já fez uma build inteligente, inclusive. Essa orbe do Oblívio é muito positiva pra ele, muito positiva pra ele. Vamos ver uma coisa. Eles estão criando pressão no top junto com o Jace. A bot lane tá bem even na real, mas a C9 conseguiu pegar uma plate. Principalmente abusando quando o Barrow saiu. E o mid tá even, entre aspas, né, digamos assim. They're going to work on stacking a wave, they're then going to look to drop the Herald, and they're going to look to take that tower. So C9 now have to be aware and prepare to try and cross-map on the bot side. Tipo, eles estão even em farm, mas o Showmaker pegou aquela assistência, né?
It's kind of reminiscent to when they met on day one. We saw Khan not really getting many kills, not really getting much gold through killing his opposition, but getting these plates early on, breaking that top tier 1, and then working his way down towards the mid lane. And you can see Damwon Kia already taken 2 plates there. Khan hasn't had Canyon by his side that much, did of course have Bell's assistance for a little while, but just the range advantage on this Jace paying off so well for the Damwon top laner. And the question is, are C9 going to be able to get stuff on the other side of the map? Are they going to be able to utilize the fact that they do have a strong Tristana? They've got this Alistar who can jump in to really shut down Damwon Kia, because Ghost has historically been the weak point for Damwon.
Mas é ponto forte aqui da...
You know, that's saying something, right? Because he's definitely not a weak
still really good player.
Ghost has been a very reliable AD carry for the squad, and he has an insane win rate. He has something like 70% win rate since he joined the roster of Damwon. And remember, they were like a 5th place team prior to that, often struggling when it came to the domestic playoffs. But Ghost, his introduction to the team led them to a world championship. So extremely important to the team as well. Going to be forced to burn the heal here after a very good trade, but now see the Rift Herald dropped in mid. This is something that we talked about. Damwon, of course, did have options, and I think that because Khan is just quite convincingly taking these plates up towards the top side, that's now his 3rd solo plate. They thought, you know what, let's get a little bit more damage down into the mid lane. Let's make this mid tower easier to siege.
Ao meu ver, cara, a C9 tá jogando muito mais clean o jogo do que nos 2 primeiros dias. Eles parecem que reconheceram as forças e fraquezas deles. E outra coisa muito importante, o Fudge tá jogando mais clean, o Blabber tá jogando mais clean, tá jogando mais solto, e eles estão jogando juntos. Lembra que eu comentei, todos os jogos da C9 eu comentei isso com todas as letras, que parecia que eram 4 caras e um random, tá ligado? E o random era o Fudge. E aquele gank no top, aquela jogadinha no top, aquilo ali foi uma mudança completa do time, sabe? Aí você fala, pô, Bruno, mas é pouca coisa isso. Não, não é pouca coisa não, meus amigos. Não é pouca coisa mesmo. Porque quando você consegue trazer esse cara de volta pro jogo, muda muito de figura. É literalmente um player a mais, sabe? E ele sim tá na frente de XP do que o Khan por causa da kill. O Khan tá farmando melhor? Claro que tá farmando melhor. Ele é um Jace, ele vai ficar long range e tal. E ele teve pressão. Mas a diferença principal é que o Fudge não morreu. Como o Fudge não morreu, ele teve mais tempo acesso a XP e ficou lá. O Blab realmente ele tá um pouco atrás em XP do Canyon. Opa! Boa! Tô gostando disso. Caralho, que psicopata. Distanciamento social. É, mas eu acho que o Fudge não tá podendo lutar com essas lutas ainda.
So Cloud9, they're leading in kills right now, still a little bit behind in gold, but that allowed them to get a setup around the Drake, so they can invest their vision. I'd like to see them reset. We can see it from Vulcan right now. Perfect.
E a diferença de ouro tá principalmente jungle e top, tá?
Control wards everywhere. The question is, will Perks go back and spend some of his gold? Actually gonna have
Opa, inverteram.
a lot of money that he is currently sitting on.
Eles querem lutar o segundo arauto.
That he has not spent yet. As Khan is looking to take this tower. So it looks like Damwon is saying, you know what, we'll trade Drake for top tower. And it looks like for now they're just going to give that one away.
But Sven and Vulcan are working their way towards the top lane here, so perhaps they're just giving up this dragon as well. Sven's going to jump in onto Khan. Trades a few extra auto attacks with that hypercharge. Canyon is on the top side of the map as well, just finishing off his Krugs. Vulcan and Sven do both still have their flashes. Could look for an engage here on the Damwon top laner, but for the moment, we'll just try and gain lane priority. Importantly for C9,
ai, Perks tá muito mal localizado, Perks! Opa!
Perks burns. In comes Blabber as well, looking for the damage on the Showmaker. Guess
what?
The tower will die.
Nossa, mãe do céu!
The turret damage will not be enough to kill him off. Even Ignite.
Caralho! Jogou fino. O Perks, cara, não acho que o Perks tava baitando os caras, porque ele flechou. Muito bom, cara. C9 tá punindo jogadas. Olha que loucura. Eles estão, entre aspas, eles estão fazendo uma jogada em 2 camadas. E como vocês bem sabem pelo nome do meu canal, camadas é comigo mesmo. Mas, guys, sério,
Vulcan pops the Khan still has the flash. He's going to try and get underneath the tower, tries to put the damage down. Vulcan tanking as long as he can. Blabber will survive as he walks away in this roaming death.
Cara, eles estão punindo a punição. Então, tipo assim, o Perks foi punido no mid. Em troca da punição dele, e tipo assim, por eles terem punido o Perks, eles tomaram punição em quem puniu, digamos assim. Esse buff é... Nossa, esse buff da montanha também vai ser muito melhor na mão da C9 do que na da Damwon. Isso significa que a Damwon tem que trabalhar mais para não deixar a C9 pegar. Porque se você tiver um Udyr, um Lee Sin com essa build e um Alistar com esse buff, meu amigo, vai ser semi-impossível de matar.
Comes to bite them back later on. For now, they're feeling very comfortable. They've been able to equalize the gold. A lot of items are starting to come through. Yet to complete the item for Perks, but he did go for that early Grievous Wounds buy so that he could match up against the Silas. So a little bit expected as we see now Damwon hovering around topside. They have the rise on Perks. He respects the positioning as we see fighting.
Fudge is going to try and 1v1 Khan here. Does have the kick, uses it. Khan trying to change the damage back. Fudge in the middle of the minions.
Nossa, solado. Mas isso daqui é verdade, tá? Isso daqui era o que eu tinha falado. Potencial de kill era do Lee Sin. E agora ele tá 3-0, ele tá muito na frente do Khan. O Khan é meio que obrigado a respeitar essa pressão, sabe? E foi uma punição, tá? O Khan tá avançado, você não passa do rio. Olha onde tá a Damwon toda, sabe? A Damwon tá toda atrás, tá toda recuada. Como é que ele vai dar esse... Opa. Como é que você vai se posicionar desse jeito, sabe? Meu Deus, o Ghost pegou a kill. Isso foi ruim.
Wow, both top laners a little delayed TPing into the fight, but considering Cloud9 was in a numbers advantage, the fact that they were able to equalize that, impressive stuff. They now sit with a 600 gold lead, and you can see that the confidence is starting to mount in C9. Sven, I think
cara, basicamente o que aconteceu aquela jogada do Khan? O time inteiro da Damwon tava do meio pra trás do mapa. Ali, ó, foi exatamente depois da morte dele que começou. Tinha uma galera que tinha resetado e tinha uma galera que tava rotando pro mid. Então, o tempo que o...
The problem for C9 is they get a little bit split up because of the equalizer. Fudge then comes in, gets that initial kill, and C9 think that they can commit to the chase, but that's when Khan joins the fray. And watch Sven here, flashes over the wall, and unfortunately he puts himself in
sem a bomba ele não podia, bateu no Khan, já era. Mas basicamente o Khan, ele não respeitou uma linha do mapa que é muito clássica, que é exatamente a linha do... a linha de pressão, né? A linha de minions. Então, se o teu time tá sem pressão no mid e no top, você não avança. Meu Deus, o Sven morreu. Puta que pariu, errou um posicionamento bobo aqui. E aqui é outra regra, cara. Se você não tá vendo os caras no mapa, obviamente ele tá no seu ombro, ele tá atrás de você, ele tá em cima de você, pronto pra te matar. Então você não pode dar esse mole. And the play doesn't really come to too much. Importantly though, Fudge pushing in a side lane. This guy was 3 plates down in the top lane. He was 1,000 gold behind. He's now 5-1-1 on this Lee Sin, and he's able to split push, and no one from Damwon Kia can really match him. Damwon though, say we're just going to push in the mid lane. Coming out from Vulcan, but Ghost goes on a rampage. Now Perks on the front line has to flash away from the equalizer, but still takes half his HP. Damwon Kia looking for the tower in the mid. They will back away from it. Se eles matarem o Ghost, o jogo muda de novo. Mas por enquanto a pressão dessa caixa é muito grande no jogo.
They're doing a great job of funneling kills in particular onto Ghost. The silent carry of the team has been getting stronger and stronger. The observers just showcased the difference in gold, and you can see it in the items too, now fully completed for Ghost. And he's going to be a real threat as we move into the mid-game team fights, because Damwon, just beautiful macro right there. The shadowing of Showmaker
Damwon vai... Eu não sei se eles vão contestar esse dragão ou se eles vão querer trocar, forçar a C9 a trocar o Barão. E um segundo dragão por um Barão não compensa nenhum dia. Nunca. Mas eu acho que a Damwon... não, a Damwon tem um Rumble. Eles fazem um Barão muito rápido se eles começarem.
For Cloud9, because right now this would be sole point if they already had that Cloud Drake from earlier. They could make sure that Damwon Kia had to come into a fight in the next 5 minutes, but for now Damwon Kia can give up the next dragon and still be able to fight back. Showmaker now in a side lane is looking to push down this tier 2.
O próximo dragão deve ser luta, tá? Mas você pode esperar que esse Udiri, se ele está até o próprio Lee Sin vão estar muito tanques, meu amigo. Eles não podem ficar dando chase nesse time não, tá?
On the map, shutting Damwon Kia down whenever he can, but now C9 are in a disadvantageous spot. Damwon Kia are used to being behind. 4 of their 6 playoff games, they were at a goal deficit at the 20-minute mark, and they still won every single one of those, and they're looking for more. Equalizer coming out as Bell lands the knock-up onto Perks. Perks being rooted in place, and the flames will burn him down. Ghost dives in, Perks goes golden, but that stopwatch won't stop your demise. Ghost now knocked back, Fudge trying to do what he can, diving onto Khan, but Fudge takes so much damage. Khan flashes out, Battle down to 100 HP.
Cara, são muitos resets que eles vêm.
Fudge and Vulcan doing what they can on this front line. Damwon Kia able to force them back.
And that was just such a huge mistake from Cloud9 that Damwon was so quick to punish once again. They have their eyes on the Baron, but they're not going to commit to it. They're just going to walk away with the tier 2 in mid.
Se os Sven fosse pra cima.
Vision control and of course the kill. Damwon, notice how they've accelerated the gold lead now to 2k, but the biggest mistake there was Fudge went top to push out the wave, and he didn't actually have his team available. So Damwon grouped as 5 in mid, and basically just pushed. They realized the positioning of Cloud9 was awkward, kind of stuck in their topside jungle, so Damwon could get the priority in the mid lane.
Mas é um erro parecido com o que a gente cometeu, eles só não foram punidos direito, né? Foram pouco punidos, né? Foi só o...
Perks and Blabber were in the jungle, and when Fudge
foi literalmente só o Perks, né? E ainda assim o dano que ele causou foi muito bruto.
There was a window there for them to actually come out ahead, but unfortunately they had that numbers disadvantage. Damwon were able to punish once more, and this is why they're such a terrifying team to play against. Every time you feel like you've gotten control over the game, they're always paying attention to the map state. They're always tracking your summoner spells. They're keeping an eye on where you are, and they're going to look at every opportunity to take something away from you. Now, teleports are all up and available. Showmaker sitting in a side lane, and the Baron is up. The Dragon's in about 2.5 minutes, so I think the priority for Cloud9 is get a little bit more money. Make sure that you secure that second item, because right now you're not in the best position to fight. Whereas Damwon, they're primed to go for whatever. Right now they're just trying to create a little bit more points of pressure. You can see they pushed.
Damwon chegou a fechar sua segunda rodada de itens, a Kai'Sa com 2,5. A C9 ainda tá correndo atrás do segundo item no mid e no bot. O Lee Sin já tá indo pro terceiro, ele vai pra GA. E aqui é que começa, ó. O lado bom do Perks é que ele tava fora, ó. Cara, a jogada do Showmaker foi muito importante. Puta que pariu. Sério, a jogada do Showmaker ali foi essencial para que eles conseguissem ganhar isso.
If C9 can be able to find just that little bit extra burst, maybe those second items will help them find a little bit of extra damage they may need in these next fights. Currently, we see Sven just taking away the Razorbeaks, has just finished his Phantom Dancer. He's about 1,000 gold, 1,500 gold behind Ghost, who has a Dirk alongside the Kraken Slayer Phantom Dancer. 2 items on Showmaker, but
agora
o... as well, so his ability to survive through these fights is that much more powerful.
QSS? O Dream vai fazer uma QSS, aparentemente. Bom flanco.
Now, what is C9 going to do off the back of this? Will they commit to the Baron, or will they instead use this opportunity to immediately rush back towards the Drake and set themselves up for the soul point? Ghost trying to get early on the wave for this being lost in his life, as you rightly said. Doesn't have that summoner spell. I like this from Cloud9. Threaten the Drake instead. Don't gamble the Baron. Even though Canyon's ult is off cooldown, with Showmaker and Ghost still full HP, with everything ready to go, it's still a very risky play. You've only killed the support. So instead, set up around this Drake. Perks has control of the top side, has that wave pushing in, has the teleport. The flank TP is available, as you can see that control ward on your screen. Cloud9 gonna start this one off.
O Rumble já vai ter ult, então não é aquela coisa tipo, ele tá sem ult, vai retornar agora. O Victor não tá na luta. Ele tá entrando. Beleza. Nossa, tá. O Ghost ainda tá vivo. O Ghost, seus filhos da puta! Oh, meu Deus! Ai, pegou na porra do negócio. Ele não tem corta-cura. O Fudge não tem corta-cura. Nossa, o Fudge não tem o Fudge não tem corta-cura. Ele não pode lutar contra o Sylas. O Fudge não tem corta-cura, cara. Ele não pode lutar contra o Sylas. Mas o TP do Perks realmente foi muito atrasado. Olha isso. E aí o W dele ainda foi completamente inútil, porque foi completamente fora. E cara, por que eles não estão focando essa Kai'Sa, velho? Eles estão demorando muito pra bater na Kai'Sa, velho. Eu queria... ficou na mão do Fudge ou do Sven essa kill, hein? Isso que eu quero ver. Ali! Focou no Khan, velho. Foca no... Foi pra Kai'Sa. Foi pra Kai'Sa não, foi pra Tristana.
Really coming up clutch in these team fights, just doing so much damage for his team. Like, it just goes to show, like, Damwon are incredible team fighters, but C9 are keeping up with the pace.
Foi pro Sven aqui. Isso foi muito positivo pra C9. Ué, ele vai fazer... eu desisti de tentar adivinhar já. É possível que ele vai fazer GA, na real.
compared to what we saw in the first half of this group stage.
What a change from the last time I played up against Damwon Kia.
Mas o certo pra Tristana, nessa altura aqui, talvez seja fazer o Gumi. Pra bater mais nos caras, sabe?
In the early game and now on this Lee Sin, he has the most gold in the game. He has got 7 kills. And he is really silencing some of his doubters in this game. I remember back at Lock-in tournament where people
Mas hoje o Fudge tá jogando o fino, meu amigo. O fino.
Well, here he is showing up against the world champions, against Khan, and coming up clutch for C9.
It's a thing with young players, man. When they get given that opportunity to learn, they learn very fast. And I think that Fudge is showcasing how rapid his growth can be. Having a fantastic
Você entende a respeito à pressão que ele tem que ter? O Sven, você pensa assim, pô, mas a Wave tá logo ali, só que ele não pode avançar. Porque justamente os caras que ele não tá vendo no mapa estão no ombro dele.
As close as CLOUD9 have kept this, I think you can clearly see how much control Damwon have over a map and why it is so difficult to close a game out against them.
What the fuck?
They just keep the
Não, tá bom.
non-stop. They deny everything from you. They'll take jungle camps.
Eles vão startar? Eles vão startar. Meu Deus. Já era.
They have to know. There goes the fast alteration. 6,000 HP on the Baron, but it's chunked out. It's already gone. Damwon Kia are going to get it, but C9 might look for the fight. First Sonic Wave hits from Fudge. He tries to get in, but he's knocked back immediately. Cannon gets an equalizer down. He's separated from the rest of Damwon Kia, but Showmaker is looking for the engage. Can't quite like the abscond. Sven's going to get knocked up. Fudge trying to do what again as he gets the blast coming back. Ghost dives across the wall down towards the bottom side of the fight. You can see Perks get a kill by Showmaker in a 1v3. Showmaker is winning the fight for his team. Khan has killed Blabber. Showmaker's going to escape. Canyon kills Fudge.
Ai,
and
o Fudge
somehow Damwon Kia win the fight.
Just like that, Damwon flipped the switch and now they have everything that they could have asked for. They get themselves the Baron, they win out a team fight. Showmaker looking for more!
It's flashing in, he's looking for Perks, but he can't quite get it. Vulcan will secure it. And we'll see what Damwon Kia can do with only
Caralho, a play do Fudge ali, faltou tão pouco pra matar os caras, só que...
Oh my word, it was
Só que faltou, né?
so good for CLOUD9, but just like that, it was the control we were talking about. Damwon have maintained river control throughout the entire game, but this
Ali, ó.
time they took a Baron
Eles
as
vão
well.
entrar,
C9
beleza.
we can still go for the fight.
E você vê
Get
como o
kills
time
Great
foi
work coming out
separado,
now,
ó.
and just watch Showmaker
Nossa, olha o
in the
dano
fight,
que
because
esse
his whole game plan is, you know what, I'm
babaca
gonna
dá,
1v3
velho.
and I don't care. He's tanking so much up with the Alistar as Fudge. He's trying to do what he can on the backline, but his GA...
E ali, o Ghost ficou free. Cara, de novo, o C9 não tá... Ali! Mano, por que que ele não foi no Ghost, velho? Por que que ele não foi no Ghost? Por que que ele não foi no
Dragon now
Ghost?
up, it's a mountain, only a third of the game. Equalizer goes down onto Sven, he's going to jump away, but immediately engage onto Canyon, and Canyon just dies. That's another player without Baron. That is sole point for C9. And although Damwon Kia have control of the river, although Damwon Kia have control of the jungle,
eu não acredito que o que isso daí é porque vocês viram o jogo inteiro o Canyon invadindo, dando poke, fazendo as sacanagens dele. E o que acontece? Eles puniram isso.
And they're going to do the same thing here against Damwon. Of course, they are still at a deficit, but that Infinity Edge is now done for Sven. Perks completed 3 full items. C9 is strong. If they can get that standard front-to-back teamfight comp, if they can just find a way to deal with Showmaker, then there are ways in which they can come out ahead. But let's have a look at what they can do.
Blabber has a good flank position. Showmaker's going to slow him down, but Beryl does have flash. Going to try and get the Nautilus hook away. The Siphon power gives Perks movement speed once again, and there is the flash from the Nautilus. Beryl will no longer have that when the next fight comes to pass, but we do still have 4 minutes on the next Dragon, and the Baron, of course, still in Damwon Kia's hands. Only 2,000, I would say about 2,400 in total gold gained from this, and remember, you get 1,500 from just taking the thing. So Damwon Kia not getting as much gold out of this Baron as perhaps they would have liked.
Certainly the case. They still did balloon their gold lead, but as you rightly said, CLOUD9.
Eles ainda podem pegar. Cara, eles tinham que pegar essa caixa antes dela fechar essa GA, que é o motivo dessa BF.
invested top and bot. Not a huge amount because right now there's no objective to play for. So instead they're just going to take the resources. But once again, Damwon saying, "Oh, you've got jungle camps? Well, I think you mean I've got jungle camps because."
E essa alma da montanha, já falei, vira muito o jogo para C9. Controle de visão do Nautilus está monstruoso.
Has 3.5 items completed. Level 17 for Showmaker, 17 for Khan. Same for Perks and Fudge.
Ghost.
At the right, he does have all of his summoner spells. Let's actually do a quick summoner spell check-in, because Fudge, no flash. Perks, no flash. Sven does, but with all sums up for Ghost, I feel like he's going to be the most challenging player to kill, and he's going to be who Fudge has his eyes on.
I'm going to be honest, Betty, I think we're checking those about 2 minutes too early. I think the next fight we are going to see will be at this Mountain Drake. Unless Damwon Kia can find a good pocket of vision where...
eu acho que eles vão vão tentar forçar uma troca de alma pelo varão. Vai ter alguma daquelas danças no rio, sabe? Que o cara vai, fica desce, sobe, desce, sobe, desce, sobe, desce, sobe, sabe? Eu acho que isso vai acontecer nesse jogo.
Objective. 3 items on Sven, as you said. We'll see actually Chemtech Punk Sword built for Fudge.
A C9 tem muita possibilidade de poke. E agora sim você tem corta-cura também nele. Você tem no mid e no top, no jungle não. Nossa. Opa! Opa! Não! Mataram o Showmaker. Dentro desses corredores da jungle, a composição da Damwon é muito forte.
Ghost and Showmaker were so split from their team, but again, we see the durability of Showmaker on this Silas, stealing away the Alistar ultimate again. They end up coming out on top. They will get themselves the first inhibitor of the game. And it looked like such a promising fight, but you mentioned it as well, Medic, that Rumble equalizer, just doing so much work and preventing CLOUD9 from getting that follow-up. The big thing, though, and I think the biggest thing, no summoners on the big carries of Damwon. But have a look at this. The double ultimate, well, the first ultimate coming in from Ghost, I think is extremely dangerous, especially with Vulcan on the flank. But then watch Canyon and watch the ultimate. Look at how impactful that is at zoning Perks and Sven away. Sven has to commit his W to getting into the fight, but then Showmaker's just tanking everything up. Pops the Zonyas as well. And then Fudge puts himself in an awkward position because he's like, I want to get Ghost. But in reality, it is Damwon that now gets to collapse onto you, which means that C9 end up faltering in the fight.
And the important thing, of course, is now super minions are pushing in the mid lane when this Mountain Soul is going to be up. We've got one more wave coming in. CLOUD9 trying to gain control, gain mid prio. Correct Bevel walks in. GA now available.
Eita caralho. Mano.
Sven will manage to jump away and Bevel and Fudge.
Eles não podem afastar do Sven. O Sven fechou GA, fechou BT já? Caralho! Ah, ele não tem GA, ele fez a BT. Agora entendi. Pô! Meu Deus, mataram o Ghost! Mataram o Ghost Showmaker! Meu Deus do céu, meus amigos. Ah, garantiram o dragão. Mano, se eles derem esse agora, é push direto mid. Meu Deus do céu. Eles podem abrir o inibidor agora? Caralho. Ah, eles vão pro Barão, beleza. Mid lane man é foda.
Is this enough? Because it has constantly been a back and forth battle, and it feels like the one team fight will swing the game.
CLOUD9, after such a disappointing first 3 games, are fighting against the world champions. They are making the world champions sweat. Perk said it best, even if you lose, make them sweat, and that's exactly what Blabber and Vulcan are doing here. Look at Fudge, look at his engage on the back. Oh, so crisp.
Nossa, aquele engage esse engage do Vulcan foi o tipo de coisa que definia o jogo. E o Dir morreu no começo, sabe? Isso foi elementar pra eles. Isso foi essencial pra Damwon, tá? Se o Blabber tá vivo naquela luta, eles perdem dragão. Eu falei Sven, era Blabber, tá? Se era ele que eu queria falar, tá? Só pra deixar claro. Caso eu tenha falado errado. Ah, ele vai fazer um Hex Drinker, porque ele sabe que quem tá indo nele é o tarado do Silas.
Such a strong position. 3 Drakes to their name with the Baron now for the next 2 minutes. They are in control. They are the ones taking away the jungle camps. They are the ones placing the wards behind enemy lines. They are the ones
coitado do Perks, perdeu o escudinho.
Fighting back against Damwon. CLOUD9 with the team fighting comp have the power.
É isso. Beleza. O Silas tem que voltar. O Silas tem que voltar. Ó, sincronizado bem. Já tá praticamente todo mundo nível 18, chegando lá, né, pelo menos. Quem não chegou ainda tá chegando. Só os suportes e os junglers estão um pouco atrás, porque chega exatamente uma fase do jogo em que os junglers não tem tempo de ficar dando full clear nos campos, etc. E a XP acaba não compensando e, meu Deus, o Showmaker foi forçado a gastar o teleporte cedo. A diferença é que o do Showmaker foi forçado e o do Perks foi utilizado. Tá? Que eles vão levar essa torre graças a isso. Mas a C9 sabe que não pode avançar ali, se não me engano, hein? Oh, a ult do Alistar de novo. A ult do Rumble volta muito rápido. Pum, pum, pum. Torre caiu. Sem a ult do Rumble. O Showmaker, ele tem a ult do Alistar, mas ele não tem o Q do Alistar, ele não tem o combo do Alistar. Se ele tivesse o combo do Alistar, seria um EE-Q. Aí seria da hora pra caralho. Imagina o Silas entrando e dando a correntada e depois levantando a galera. Pum! Caraca, seria monstruoso. Mas obviamente a Rito, pelo menos nesse ponto, eles têm um pouquinho de noção. 40 segundos, cara, que faltavam do Barão. Usaram o teleporte do Perks, investiram o teleporte do Perks, melhor dizendo. O teleporte do Showmaker vai voltar coisa de 3 segundos antes do Perks. Não é uma diferença significativa, a não ser que você seja capaz de criar a jogada nessa micro janela de 3 segundos. O Perks tá muito avançado. É o momento deles irem pro pitch. Mas se eu fosse eles, eu faria uma trap. Eu faria uma trap. Eu faria uma trap aí. Agora. Meu Deus, é isso. A alma da montanha na mão desse Udyr. Meu amigo. Olha os itens desse menino Udyr. Olha a quantidade de armadura que esse monstro já tem. Ele vai fazer ímpeto cósmico. Ele vai fazer zônias. O Udyr vai fazer zônias, meus amigos. E eu acho que realmente é uma escolha boa de item pra ele, cara.
They've been in this position a few times, They are the world champions, not because they come back from so many crazy fights, but because of how insanely talented everyone in this roster is. They did it against DFM. C9, they just have to play patiently. They cannot overstep, because Damwon will look to punish them. Here we are, the siege onto the final inhibitor tower.
Tristana level 18, highest attack range in the game. So easy to siege. Explosive charge does a lot of work for you, as well as Damwon Kia are going to try and catch their waves in bot lane. Top lane also pushing in. I believe there's 2 super minions in that wave, so Khan will have to work his way up there. Next minion wave for Cloud9 will be here in 5 seconds time, and the clock is ticking. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Will Damwon Kia defend? The inhibitor tower is the target. Fudge gets hooked by Beryl. Goes trying to open up onto Blabber, but that inhibitor tower is almost done. Falls down now. Goes on the front line. Showmaker looking for the flank. Beryl going in as well, but Fudge kicks him away. C9 willing to disengage his fight as Showmaker has to pop the Alistair ult to get away. Look at how low DK are. They have to back away. They have to get back to the fountain. And Cloud9 have supers in the bottom lane, have supers in the top lane, and now have cracked the inhibitor in mid as well. This could just be it, Betty.
Patience is the name of the game for C9, and they're doing just that. They're letting the minions do the work for them. Utilizing the range, take up the flash.
Meu amigo! Neutralizou o Equalizer. Se o Ghost morre, o Ghost! O Ghost! O Ghost! Meu Deus. 3 inibs abertos. E isso daqui foi o que faltou pra DFM ganhar, cara. Foi a paciência, sabe? Pum, pum, pum. Meu Deus, Zonias. Showmaker morreu. Mano! A C9! Meu Deus. Cara, que jogo incrível da Cloud9. E é como eu tinha falado, cara. O que aconteceu? Com aquele Victor, olha aqui. Olha essa composição deles, cara. Com esse Victor, eles neutralizam o potencial de entrada desse cara e desse cara. Então o Jace fica relegado a ficar dando tiro de longe, porque se ele entra, ele se ferra. O Sylas entrava e tomava CC. E isso impedia ele de dar o dano que ele tinha que dar. Mesmo ele tancando muito com o ult do Alistar, isso foi quase um bait, tá ligado? E o Ghost não podia dar aqueles all-ins de Kai'Sa que ele queria tanto dar, justamente pela ameaça que o Victor traz. Além disso, o Udyr nesse jogo foi essencial, porque você chega lá, parou o Sylas, parou a Kai'Sa, parou o Jace, parou o Rumble. Isso era absurdo e, como eu disse, se eles pegassem a alma da montanha, eles iam ficar imortais, meus amigos. Imortais. É quase impossível você quebrar o escudo e você dar dano nesse time. Então, foi um jogo muito limpo da C9. Jogaram pelo top pra caramba. Jogaram muito em cima do Fudge. Era a lane que eles tinham maior força de fato. Não é que tenha maior força. Tipo, essa bot lane tem muita força, essa mid lane tem muita força, mas é onde tem a maior discrepância de força. Então a diferença de força no meta de um Lee Sin para um Jace é muito grande. O Lee Sin é top priority. O Lee Sin é prioridade assim, suprema. O Lee Sin tá ali junto com o Rumble e Morgana nas prioridades. Enquanto o Jace tá assim, tá mais ou menos, entendeu? Então, o que acontece aqui? Por outro lado, o que acontece? O que a composição da Damwon quer fazer? Eles querem dar poke com o Jace, finalizar com o Rumble para Kai'Sa e o Sylas poderem entrar. O problema é que a Kai'Sa e o Sylas não podem entrar porque tem o Victor, e a composição da C9 não é obrigada a comprar essa briga junta. A Tristana pode estar batendo pela direita, o Victor pode estar batendo de trás, pela frente de trás, reto. O Alistar pode entrar com a ult tancando. O Udyr pode dar a volta no time. O Fudge pode estar pegando flanco. Então são personagens muito independentes. A única coisa é um 1-3-1 bizarro, sabe? Que é um 1-3-1 em que um lado é o AD Carry, o outro é o top laner. E o trio seria o Udyr, o Victor e o Alistar, que jogaram magistralmente esse jogo, tirando uma vitória dos atuais campeões mundiais, a Damwon Kia. Jogaço da C9, e agora o grupo está um pouco menos em aberto. Ou um pouco mais em aberto, vai se saber, né? Então é isso, meus amigos. Vejo vocês já já para o segundo jogo do dia, entre DFM e Gillette Infinity. E como sempre, meus camaradas, GG e até logo. GG e até logo. É isso.